What's up, guys? We're back. It's finally within the week. We got 6 days until the Hall of Fame game from the day that I'm recording this. Really just gonna get into the groove, guys. Gonna give you the pick for the Hall of Fame game. If you've been listening for a while, you already know what it is, so feel free to just read the comments or whatever you want to do. But let's get right into it. Hall of Fame game next Thursday, Jets versus Browns. Browns essentially the home team, being that they are playing in Canton and they are from Cleveland. So why am I picking the Jets? Yes, the pick is still the Jets. It's the Jets money line. Back early in the summer, my assumption was I was going to be on the Jets, but kind of at a lower play, something like a 10%. I'm sorry, not 10%, like 1/10 of a unit. Now, usually the most I'll ever go in preseason is a half unit. I will say this game, as I've read about it, as I've heard about it, looked into it more, just kind of done some more reviewing on the depth charts, I do feel more and more comfortable with this game. So I am going for a full quarter unit on this game. Like I said, my favorite play in this one is the Jets money line. But why? Couple of breakdowns here. Number one, just coaching, right? As it always comes back down to with this channel. And if you're new to this channel, just know we do try to stick to stats and spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff. Gonna do definitely a better job of it this year. But on top of that, we also look at coaching. Coaching is the number one niche that we are going over it with this channel. For preseason especially, which just that much easier to kind of hone in on what these coaches want to do, who gives a shit, who doesn't. As far as Robert Saleh, the coach of the Jets, he is 5-0 in his preseason appearances. Great. The guy really wants to win. He seems to be trying to go for that new John Harbaugh record. So he really seems to give a shit about winning in the preseason. He finds some value in it. And honestly, the Jets have had at least good week ones with Saleh, and some of it may be because they are already kind of, going full speed with the preseason games. They're trying to win. It's not like, you're starting from zero when you actually go full game speed. Now, on top of that, they're going to be playing against Kevin Stefanski, who is 4-2 in his preseason record. Now, the bad part, or kind of the misleading part with Kevin Stefanski, is that 4-2 looks fine. He's 67%. He's been a head coach, or he's coached through 2 preseasons, I should say. The first one, he actually went 3-0. And that is a trend that we do see with brand new head coaches, is maybe not going 3-0, but having a winning preseason in their first year, or at least trying a little bit harder in that first year. Some of it is kind of, getting your name out there, building some confidence in yourself, having the players kind of buy into it, build a little bit of confidence that way. But after going 3-0, he went 1-2 last year, with the one win coming against the Jaguars. And if you look down the list here that's on your screen and you find Doug Peterson, he's going to be towards the lower end of the screen. He's 8-12. So another coach who doesn't especially put a lot of emphasis on preseason. That was the only win he got last year. They did have some decent quarters. It seems like the second quarter and third quarter, typically where he likes to try to maybe put a little bit more emphasis in there. Maybe it's like a schedule thing. Maybe it's, he wants to get a good look at some of the backups. Whatever it is, those are typically the quarters we look at for Kevin Stefanski, that he may be kind of putting up some points. Aside from that, though, I really think just coaching-wise, you have to give the nod to the Jets here. Secondly, though, if you look at the backups here, right, like your quarterback rotation, basically, obviously for the Jets, Aaron Rodgers is their bona fide starter. He's not going to be in this game. I can almost guarantee you that. But we do have Zach Wilson as the backup. He may or may not be playing in this game. After that, though, they also have Steichen. Now, Steichen was the quarterback, or a quarterback, that the Jets had last year. He really only played in 2 games, and of those 2 games, only one of them he actually got to throw passes in. But over his career in the NFL, he has an 80 quarterback rating, which is pretty good for being a 3rd/4th stringer. Last year, in the one appearance he did have with the Jets, he was so good and showed enough potential in that one game that several Jets fans were relatively excited about him. They thought maybe he could be the guy to step in for Zach Wilson, the guy to, take the reins over. They ended up not going that direction, but he did look pretty good. He does have a couple snaps under him. He played in 2 games last year. He's played in them before. So he at least does have some experience, and I think that's probably who we're going to see a lot of in this game, especially if Zach Wilson doesn't play at all. As far as the Browns are concerned, after Deshaun Watson, who, again, is most likely not going to be playing in this game, they have Joshua Dobbs, who has NFL experience. He's been in the league for a while now. I really couldn't tell you if that guy's even going to play or not. He might, just because he is the backup, but he may not, because I'm pretty sure they know what they have with him. There's not a whole lot more to learn about him, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him. He only plays 1 or 2 series, because if anything, he seems like the locked-in backup. And so while Deshaun Watson is going to definitely be on the sideline, you really don't even want to risk your secondary guys. And with the offensive line, I'm going to assume that if Deshaun Watson is not playing in this game, the starting offensive line is probably not going to also see the field either, mainly because they don't want to get them hurt, because then you're going to be shit out of luck when you're trying to protect Watson come actual game time. So you may see a little bit of Joshua Dobbs. You may, and you probably will see more Kellen Mond for the Browns. Kellen Mond has not really looked especially great. He looked good in college, and I remember thinking he was going to be a little bit better in the NFL. The couple of times he's got some playing time in the NFL, he's really struggled with reads, with timing, with even accurately passing. He is, a running and mobile quarterback, but he has not really shown it. And maybe it's just like a speed thing. He hasn't really shown out in the NFL just yet. And I think that's probably who we see more of in this game. So whether it's Dobbs or Mond, I honestly think Steichen is probably better than either or. So you have the quarterback going, also the quarterback nod going to the Jets. Lastly, the game, like I said, is in Canton, Ohio. So it is closer to Cleveland. On that note, though, I don't believe there's really a home field advantage here. Yes, it's relatively close, but if Stefanski is not putting any emphasis on winning these games, period, whether he's at home or away, the fact that they're close doesn't really mean jack all. Secondly, he's from Philadelphia. I made sure to double check because last year, his name's escaping me now, but actually, you know what? I can look it up right here. Josh McDaniels, who is in the Hall of Fame game, had family in that area, and he's, for whatever reason, felt the need to show out and play like Josh Jacobs and stuff in the Hall of Fame game. This year, I don't see that happening, so we can't foresee Kevin Stefanski really putting a whole lot of emphasis on this game and really trying to show out for anybody, trying to put up a lot of points or anything like that. So I don't see anything big coming from him. I do think Robert Saleh probably uses the fact that they're playing close to Cleveland as a little bit of a chip on the team's shoulder, something like a rah-rah speech. And if you heard the last video, you heard this already, but something like, hey, we're playing in their backyard, let's go show them, what we can do, and blah, 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 let's build the confidence, all that kind of shit, which is great. But if anything, I think it may help the Jets just a little bit more than it actually helps Cleveland, since their coach is probably not really going in there to try and win or try and focus on specific, plays or anything like that. So that all being said, that's going to wrap it up, guys. I will throw in, I do like the under here. I personally have a play on the under 33.5. It's up to you if you want to follow me on that one or not. Essentially, this Hall of Fame game is relatively low scoring. The last 4 out of 5 years have gone under. Last year was a year that went over, so the odds of it happening twice in a row are relatively low, and I don't see a whole lot of really talented skill players, obviously the starters, not playing. So I don't think we see a whole lot of that, and I do think we are going to see a lot of running from both of these teams and a lot of really good defenses, specifically on the Jets side of the ball. So under 33.5, but the official play and my favorite play on this one is going to be Jets money line at plus 100. You guys have a great day. Enjoy the Hall of Fame game. Let's get back into football, and I will be coming back with you guys next week, most likely on Friday, to go over the next week's games. I already have one in the books. I will let you know what it is shortly. And if nothing else, I may be coming to you Monday with just some extra information on that next preseason game. You guys have a great day, and I will see y'all.